The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Long series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we're playing Infraspace. On Monday, we made everything work more efficiently, and we also separated the chemicals. So the distribution center would help with this because we can specify the collection center to only collect chemicals from right here, because it can only collect one item at a time anyway. And then we put a distribution center right here and make sure that it highlights the only things that we want this chemical to go to. And then we link them together, and they will not ship trucks to anywhere but the collection center. And then the collection center, being linked to a distribution center, will only send trucks to that one place. It does have the ability to be added to more than one place, it seems, but this is a good way to make sure that they're only going to one place. So we might set that up for the chemicals if we're still having traffic issues. We do have computers and the blue chips right here. They are going to be moved to pretty much where this crystal is. And then this is also going to be moved over here. And we are also going to be making this outside road pretty much be a large roundabout. I found out in the other save that once we get everything actually producing at efficiency rates and they send everything to the city, having this road specifically being two directions makes things get backed up. So we're going to be having this road specifically as the way out, and then everything's going to come in this way, which is okay because these food plants don't produce much traffic. It will give traffic, but it doesn't really make a lot, and that's going to make the city more efficient in transporting everything around the actual town. In terms of the size of the city, it's not going to expand just yet. And also, I think we're going to start out with a pole. Because if we go into science, I believe we finished everything yellow. We did not, so we do still have some yellow stuff to unlock. And I think I am going to do the cat litter because now I can smell it. It took a moment. So we're going to go into the back scene for just a few minutes so you guys aren't hearing me go through the trash and stuff. And then we'll be right back. If you guys were keen enough to notice, I also moved the camera a little bit for the cats, so it's more aligned. We were talking about a poll because what I want to know is, after we get all the yellow signs completed, should we do the red signs here, which is, at this point here, all terraforming stuff. So we can terraform parts of the area. It also unlocks the latest power, so this will make a ton of power. Needs adamantine mining, which we use for all these buildings once we have everything unlocked. But we really don't need to do that. The stuff that is in red has nothing to do with the city. So if we want to upgrade the city to like the largest it can be without putting more buildings, we would not need to do uranium nuclear power stuff. We would need hollow displays, which requires iridium mining. And we also require schools, because I took a look at the town in the other save to make sure that we have everything for the town, for the city. So we don't really need to get into red signs. But we're gonna do a poll right now. And I want you guys to tell me, for right now, what you would like me to do. So it's a yes or no question. We're going to do that poll again later on. Also, at the 2-hour mark, we're going to be feeding the kittens together. And we'll only have 2 more weeks of doing that on stream. Because of the kittens will be old enough in 2 weeks to be given away. But anyway, while that poll is about halfway done, I want to move stuff around first. The thing that we might end up changing is where the aluminum comes in. If the aluminum gives us issues due to where the 2 different saves aluminums are, because right now our aluminum's coming from the south, way down here, and it's coming up on the west side of the city, and in the other save it's coming from the east and going straight over. And as I had expected, nobody voted on the poll, but that's because usually there's not a lot of people right here at the beginning of the stream. So the first thing I want to do is move the copper mine, or copper bars. And I think that is 1 square lower than this, which would be 2 squares away. So if we go in here and we put a road right here, we'll make it the same length as that road. We're then going to have a weird grid thing. What happened there? We're going to move all this stuff down here, because we're also going to be moving the yellow signs. It looks like I made this long enough to put another building at the end here. And then this road came 1 square further. So go like that. I say that, but this seems like it gets closer to this stuff than it is. Maybe it's just the road messing with me. But the next thing is to go from here all the way over, all the way down, a little bit up, because this is where the actual science building is going to go. And I also want to upgrade this road. Next thing I want to do is not move this road. I was going to move it, but then I realized we have a little bit more plastic being made in this map than the other one, which we might not actually need. Anyway, next thing is to move our methane. So it's going to come to here and then go there. We're not going to need this line. Actually, we are. There is something later on that uses methane, which is the industrial chemicals, which we're going to put in. So we should have enough space for all 6 of these buildings to be right down here. It appears as though we do not have enough room, so I miscounted something. There is an Electrode in chat. That's a evolved Gen 1 Pokemon that I don't think I have. I definitely do not. Let's see if I catch it. And in the meantime, I think we need to move this over 100%, 1 more square. And then the same with all these buildings, just so that we can fit the next one in. Good luck, Gino. Now, I actually had them on the other side of the road, which is why this road was put out more. But it's fine, doesn't matter what side of the road that's on. So that's the yellow signs. The reason why we're moving it from where it was is because as I was testing out the road layout here, there was so much traffic going up this way just to go from the green science to wherever it was needing to go. So everything that the green science requires, the sand, aluminum, and the chemicals, along with the blue science being funneled into this road, was causing up such a backlog of traffic that trying to get anything to the yellow science took forever, including the green science, which was like 10 squares away from it. So we're putting it on its own intersection here. Doesn't really require much trucks. I mean, it gets the green science, which is right here. That's just a right-hand turn. That goes in quickly. The motors are over here. They can either go up and straight over or down and then loop in. Pretty sure they go up and then straight over. Methane is by pipes. And then the organic waste, we don't really require much of that, so we rarely get more than one truck at a time on that road. Like I said, this road might change because we might switch to the other aluminum mine. Now, what we're going to be doing is pretty much reinventing the wheel. And I'm going to work in a weird order to get our computers and blue chips moved around. So I have, just like last stream, a picture on my phone that we're going to be following. So if I didn't realize that the Pokemon was caught. Congrats, Gino. I forget what size road this was, but I'm going to assume it's 2-lane. Is this the same length as the other? Actually, did I zoom in well enough that I can see some squares? Not really. The grid doesn't always show up well on photo. But if I look at these, we're gonna need a fifth one, which would go to here. And judging by this picture, it looks like I have the road separating right where that is. I'm gonna put a temporary road there. This is gonna go that way. That's where two roads end. I needed that so that I can tell how far away they go. Anyway, over here is probably the easier one to do first. So we're going from here, and then all the way over to being 1 square away from the highway. Which looks like it's further away than expected, but it's not. I'm gonna go to here. We're gonna delete this and this. It's gonna cause issues for the computers, but we're not using them right away right now. We're gonna be making a intersection here. So if we continue doing this, the roads are separated by 3 squares. And then over here, how do I figure out how far away these are? Oh, the buildings. There's going to be a total of 5. We have 7 here, so we're making 2 more than we need, I think. But they're going to be going on the bottom half anyway. So if I go back 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 is the next road. That goes to there. So then this gets connected in. I'm going to delete this road and replace it. This seems longer on the right side, which it is. That's fine. Over on this side, we're going to need at least 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is for 4 buildings. And then I'm going to put in enough room for just 2 more. And then we're going to go up another 3 squares. Or 4, I mean. 3 in between the 2 roads. This is going to be our main road going into the highway. We're going to do the same over here. Actually, this needs to be 6 lanes. And then the same thing going across here, I believe. Or did I lower it? I think I lowered that specific road to being 4 lanes. And then I have the aluminum coming in from the right. So that can be added in later. I'm actually going to place in a temporary placeholder. So we'll go like that. There's nothing on the top road. Or the top of this road. This is the entirety of it. Now, I can't see what is in the picture right here, but I'm going to assume it's this, because it requires plastic. In the picture, the buildings that are placed right here are requesting plastic. So I can't see what they are. But all we're going to do for right now is move these out of the way. So that I can place in the road, which I believe is going to need to be 4 lanes so that it can fit everything. This goes away. Entire road. We don't need this. We all need this. Okay, now we're moving the computers. And I do have 4 here, 1 on the bottom, but we're going to have room for 5 buildings. All of this stuff is going to be placed right here. I'm going to place 5 on the bottom, and then we'll keep the extra 2 that I don't think we need on the other side of the road. And then we can delete this, because this is no longer used. This is a dead space, so we can use it for something later on. But that should be enough for us to unpause. No, it is not, because it's not connected into the highway. Highway junction is going to get quite complicated. So if I did this right, this road should line up 1 square away from this road, which it is. And we are going to put in a 2-lane road going a majority of the way, which I don't know when that's going to end. So we're going to put that like this for a moment. This needs to be lowered because we're going to have buildings on this road. I can't judge how far away from this crystal the road has to be. I think what we're putting right here is a 3x3 building, which would mean that the next road has to be where the power lines are. I'm just gonna go like this for right now. And the one up here is also a quite big road, so we are gonna move these power lines a little bit. Can I move this up to... Not yet. I can move this out and then move that up. Because these have to be moved up 1 more. Just so that we can fit a 3 deep building right there. That's going to be for the last tier 2 stuff. Let's delete that little road. And the intersection here. There is going to be 3 levels of road here. In the other map, I have this highway as a bridge because of the land. So if I were to delete this entire highway, place it back in, it should be above ground. And just in case, I'm going to delete this. This whole thing should be a bridge. There we go. So this is 1 tile high, and I should be able to re-add the road underneath it, which we're putting as 4 lanes, but it's going to be changed later on. Now, for us to not have node issues, I'm going to offset these nodes a little bit, just so that they're not on top of each other. And I need to keep the map like this so I can see where we're going. So, the first node we're going to needs to be right here. We then are going to need another node. Let's put in a temporary road. This is a road that I deleted later on. We're going to need 1 node, 1 square above this, so let's move this down. On the other side, I think I'm only 2 squares away from the highway, which would be right here. And then on this side of the highway, we're going to want 1 node below this road. Let's not move that one, and we'll just move this one. Okay. Next thing we're going to need to do, move these power poles out of the way. Because there's going to be a big junction right here. Let's do the easy stuff first. So right here, there is going to be highway lanes going in. And as far as I can tell, I have it going from right here. That's not down. That's down. From here into that junction, and then out the other end. But this side goes up a level. And then from down here, we come out, go down to here. Okay, I see what I'm doing wrong for the moment. This node needs to be moved 1 more out. We're going to make this look better in a moment. Right now, we have to get in all the lanes. So on this side, it's going to be 2 lanes. I didn't place in both lanes. And I think this should really be moved here to match that side. This goes straight into here, but this seems extra far. That's going to be a straight road later. In terms of this, we're going to have to place in 2 temporary nodes, which are going to be moved later on. And then this also joins into another road over here. So let's put in this first. We have a single road like that. And then this just comes out. Does it go to here? No. Just like that for now. In terms of where these 2 are going to connect, I know it definitely goes 2 squares. I'm going to guess this is the connection point. And then it goes into here. Okay, so we're going to delete this, add it back in. Or, no, we needed 2 nodes there. Right. Because we're going to have this road curved. So, let's put that node back in, so we can move it. Okay. In order for us to move these nodes, we're going to have to delete the middle portion here. And move this one to here, go up to the 2nd level. And this one's going to go on top of this road. There's a Machop in chat if anyone needs one. I already know that I have it, so I don't need it. This one's also going to go up to the same level. I think I may have just made that one. Alright, that's that road. We're going to put this one back in, because without the roads connecting in different ends of the intersection, the highway roads are going to be in a weird place. So, what we're going to do now is click on this road. We're going to move it over like this. We're going to lock it in place. We're then going to curve that. We're going to do the same over here. Not the lock in place, but we're going to curve it. And then this one should be another lock in place. And then we're just going to move it over. Actually, that is not doing the same thing that it was. So maybe I need to look at this road instead. No, I think I don't have a node there. I think this is just a straight-in connection. That looks more like the picture. Let's make sure this is curved. It looks slightly different. Congrats, Gino, on catching the Pokemon. Over here, we're gonna have to do the same thing. So this, I want straight in like that. That's the entire thing done there. This node needs to go down. This should only be one level high, but for some reason it's doing a weird jump physics there. This needs to go down. So let's work on this road first then. This I want straight. No, that doesn't need to be straight. Neither does this one, but I do want it moved like this. And then if I can click on this, I get this straight in like that. Is this node flying? What is going on with this road? There we go. Alright, to fix this, I think we have to move it out and then back, and it should be right. No, it is not. How did I get this to look better? Oh, I have this junction actually back here, which makes this look more of a less steep incline. Okay, last two things. This road. And this road. And that's the entire junction. Looks a little wonky. But what we're going to do next is upgrade lanes. So this is going to be 3-lane in both directions. Over here is also going to be 3 lanes. But only for a short portion of it. And then going... That's a 2-way road. That was supposed to be a 1-way road. This is also the wrong type of road. There we go. This right here is 2. This right here is 2. Coming down here, we don't get much traffic. It's pretty much just stuff returning to this, so it's the computers and the other piece of the stuff that we're going to be building in. So we don't really need 2 lanes there, but we could if we need it later on. Coming down from here, on the other hand, does need to be 2 lanes, because we're going to be getting the majority of our stuff from the south. So, let's look at our lane work here. Put this down here. You go here, you go here, and this one goes on here. This goes into both of them, this goes into both of those. Actually, I had changed that at the end, so that multiple people can come in here. You don't go left, you don't go left either. Neither do you. You go straight, the orange one goes into the yellow, green goes here, light blue goes here, and here. So that if people are coming up to here, this farthest top lane doesn't have to switch, And the middle lane going up to the left doesn't have to switch either. The lanes connecting them in are to the right. This is not. Let's do this next. Nobody's turning left. Yeah, everyone turning left should be taking this road. You do need to be able to turn left because you are from the city. And this goes in there. Okay, last thing should be this road. Oh. No. You go down there. You go down there. This goes here and here. Everything else should be all correct. So, if we were to unpause right now, we should see that nothing really goes on with this area because we don't have a traffic issue right now. We also have a ton of people, and as far as I know, we will not have to add more housing as we upgrade the city. Now, the next thing we are going to do is come over here. And if I have the poles in the same place as the other town, which I think they are, we're going to be moving this, which is how people get into the city, to over here, like that. It says no road, but we're actually going to be adding that in now. And what I have to do is put in a 6-lane road to right there. We're then going to click on this because we do not need 2 lanes going that way. We also don't need this going that way. Or this, because nobody's going to be turning left coming out of here. We do want somebody able to turn left here. And we don't need this road. So this is going to go straight. That is how this is going to work. It only will have the pink trucks going in and out of that section. Now, on the other hand, we do have more things that we need to put in, so we're going to do a 1-way 3-lane road to about here. Why do I have this a different type of road? Because they really don't have to be slower. Let's upgrade this and upgrade this. Oh, that's why. Because the first road needs to be concrete in order for the building to be connected to it. This can be highway road. What we're going to be placing over here is the thing to fix the ship, and I forget where it is every time I go to look for it. Is it miscellaneous? It is not. Is it transport? It is. Look at that. We're going to rotate it. And this doesn't have to be in the exact same spot as I have it in the picture. So we're just going to place it right there. Next thing we're going to be putting in is the distribution center. This gives vehicles to a building. So I'm going to put that there. What I was thinking on doing a little bit differently was having a way to separate these from the other place, because we're going to want probably more than one building doing this. So what I think I'm going to do is not use this right away. We are going to set it up just like in the other game to being straight across from the distribution center. This is going to go straight in. So when we need a specific item, we're going to call it in, and then it's going to go to this building and go straight across because that's where it's getting distributed to. Now on this, I don't want a max storage of 200. We can just put it at 20 and raise this up so that it covers that building. Right now it's requesting sand. We don't have anything collecting sand. Don't have to worry about it. Eventually that'll get changed to something else. The other thing I want to do is also connect it straight into there. This is a going in only, out only, and this is both going in only. Now this shouldn't be requesting anything, but it looks like we still have something selected. I just unselected that, so nothing should be trying to come over here. Sand is coming over here, so we need to put this as something we don't have. Let's put on adamantine. So they're probably going to go in and then disappear. There's nothing in there. Okay. So that's that whole thing set up, ready to go. Let's progress into making the last thing in the mid-tech area. Now, we have some things that are not fully upgraded or unlocked. I have no idea what this item is for. Oh, that's the heat exchanger. Produces heat exchangers used for temperature control in large industries. Don't remember what to do, but we need to start science again. So what should we unlock first? Let's do all of these. We don't really need superhighways or high-speed rail. We're not even using a train yet. We're gonna need schools. Fertilizer will help with farms. This would raise production. This is another city thing. So I think we'll go in this order. Then we'll do high-tech workshop to make things more efficient. This goes into red science. These are things we don't need that, don't need this. And we'll make nuclear power last. So that's all of the yellow science set up and ready to go. What we do have the ability of doing is making home robots right away. So I can't see through icons yet again, but I believe I have 4 of these home robots. So we're going to place in 4 right here. On the left side are nanotubes. And I can't tell if there's 4 buildings. It looks like there's just 3. Down below are these blue cubes. Right there and there. I also need to make sure that one of these does not return trucks. Very important we don't return trucks into here. I want these blue chips to only go to the right, and anything that's going back and forth from this, I want to come from down here, not across here and turning left into this road, because it's going to cause a lot of traffic. It's okay if they go across here. I want this to be just leaving the area to minimize traffic. So this is everything set up over here. Right on this side will be this yellow building. There's 2 of them. And I need to now make sure that they're not requesting anything on pipes. Okay, no pipes are needed over here. Over on this side of the highway, we're going to be putting in things that do require pipes. So first, let's bring this methane all the way up here. We're also going to need to grab some water from the highway and bring it down. And we can get rid of this. So now, at the top up here, we are going to need industrial chemical, which I have 2. And then right below that is a water distiller, which takes water and turns it into distilled water. And I have only 2 of those. We have industrial robots completed. We can make a thing that makes them. They're the same as home robots. They don't take... Actually, I think they take less. No, they're the exact same recipe. Down even to the seconds. So home robots are required for habitat level 5. That's the last thing we needed for our habitats. Industrial robots. Advanced robotic arms suitable for any job, from the most tedious to the most dangerous. Reduce required workers in a factory by 1. Now, I don't know if this gets delivered to buildings. I would assume it does. I have not used them yet. So I think in a different stream, we are going to look at making things more efficient outside of fixing the ship. Now, that is pretty much everything. We have nothing to worry about. I might need to increase some stuff over here. Looks like we need one more of these buildings, which I did have set up on the other map. Looks like we're going to need chemicals. Let's go over here and place in one building. Going up the line, is there anything else before we get to numbers? To yellow numbers, I mean. That is identical. I do not like identicals. That's why I put in that extra thing of meat. Okay, that's more. Apparently we're making... Oh, I would have been making the exact amount of distilled water that we need. So instead I'm making twice as much. That's more, that's more. Next thing is motors, which I could see was yellow from a while ago. Let's connect this road further down. Now this is saying that it requires oil. Do I not have pipes down here? I don't have oil pipes going over here for some reason. That would be why it wasn't making motors. We still needed that one extra building though, because the number didn't change. If there's a building that requires a thing by pipe, if the building does not have the piped in item, it will log that building as not being used, and it'll turn this yellow or red. When you plug in the pipe, it immediately turns on saying that you have the resource. So it staying yellow still meant that I needed one more building. And then if we continue going up from motors, we go to here and check to make sure that everything is still more. Except for that one yellow item I see we're getting to, which is water. The oxygen is pretty close. I think we should put in at least one more thing of oxygen. So, like, one thing of water, one thing of oxygen. That's water. That's not the water we want, though. Because we are using the water that makes twice as much. Okay. It's going to take a moment for home robots to get everything it needs because we just placed in everything. It's going to cause a lot of traffic. Luckily, because this is the last thing that we need for everything to be level 5 in here, we're not going to be downgrading anything. The worst that's going to happen is maybe the computers have an issue trying to get out of here, getting on the highway. We should see that the only thing coming down here is home robots, purple trucks. They're going straight in. Chemicals coming across. We could make this highway road under here. We could upgrade it. I don't know if we necessarily need to. Anyway, that is everything in the picture completed. So from here on out, we're just doing things the first time. So what I want to do first is look at our ship and figure out what is going to be the easiest thing for us to create. This is green science, blue chips, and nanotubes. We could do that fairly quick because they're only small portions. It's going to mean that our home robots aren't created as fast, and it's also going to mean that our science is going to slow down. Let's do it anyway, because that's not going to affect the city. Like the one that's going to require home appliances is going to affect the city quite a bit. So we should be seeing this as requesting the items, and they should get it eventually. We'll see cars that are not pink coming down this road. I think that blue car is going to turn. Yep. So that blue car should be the blue chips. I'm not sure how else to make sure that things are coming down here other than putting a collection center somewhere nearby. Which I probably could. Hold on a second. If I were to put a collection center right here. Apparently that destroys the road. Let's actually move it back. And we just do a double road thing here. Let's do this road. You go in, you come out. We're gonna turn this collection center radius up quite far so that it covers both things here. You are not going to be collecting sand, you're going to be collecting that. I also want you to be minimum of 20. So if I were to tell this to collect nanotubes, and ask and tell this to require nanotubes, then we link them together. Carbon nanotubes are at the moment only going to go into this collection center. Once you place that down, that's the only place they go. And then within the radius of this, they will then be dispersed. So for a moment, we're not going to be making home robots. I know we have a few, so there are going to be some buildings that level up and then downgrade later on. But what we should be seeing is that nanotubes are coming up this way. That's some green signs going in. I did see that stuff came out of here, so that's a nanotube right there. Looks like a dark gray. And that should be making this faster in loading. And then since we have blue chips, by the way, we're not going to be stopping for ads for today. Since the blue chips are already done, that means they're now being used for other items. They don't keep being requested for this once it's full. We also only have to make one box, as you can see it at the spaceship construction facility. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the cord here. The spaceship construction facility only requires that amount of goods to make one box. Once you make that one box and send it to the ship, you don't need to make that box again. So this is pretty much like a science building. It's going to be completed immediately after being unlocked. And I am also surprised that we're getting a lot of green signs coming in here. They also seem to be only bringing in one item at a time, but I thought all trucks carried 2 items. Are they like splitting up down here? No, science is only 1. Resources are 2. Is that the same for the home stuff? That's 2. That's empty. What else goes up to the city? That's 1. Okay, so not everything is made or sent in trucks in 2s. Okay. It's good for us to know. Traffic over here doesn't look too bad. They are getting backed up a little bit just by trying to cross over because they're starting to get this set up. So there's going to be more traffic for a little bit. What is going on right here? Oh, I think I put another intersection there too. For the same reason. Let me look at the picture again, because I should be able to see it. I did put an intersection there. Okay. Or a junction, I mean. We're gonna move some stuff around. This should be easier to do than the other one. And apparently, we don't even have to move the science road. We are gonna have to raise it though. So if I go here, we're gonna pick this up by 1, pick this up by 1, and this up by 1. Then we should have kept this picture open so I can make sure I have the right size road. I think we're gonna need to increase the road regardless, actually. What is coming from the right? All of this. Yeah, we're gonna increase this entire thing to being 6 lanes. Welcome back, everyone, from the ads. You did not miss much. We noticed a bunch of traffic here. And it's pretty much due to me not having this the right size road. You're going to be 6 lanes going all the way here. This is not 4 lanes, but now it is. And this is going to be 6 lanes. Over here will not need to be 4 lanes, but I think this portion should be. Let's delete this so I don't have that node there. This shouldn't need to be more than just 1 lane. It is a bit backed up, but it should be fine once everything actually starts moving. So, we're going to delete these 2 portions. We're going to add this to here, I believe. No, the junction goes right where this road is. So what I'm going to do temporarily is delete that road. I have this going to here, then up, then down, same distance going in. I also have this being a highway road, which probably just helps with speed. So first, let's put in the junctions here. How far away do I have this? I have it going to this building. Are they really that short of a junction? No, we're gonna go to here. Which is the 3rd square. It does look weird, but we're gonna change it. So this is going to be locked onto that, but then straightened out. We're going to do the same on this side. And that is pretty much the entire thing. That's a junction right there. I don't remember how many lanes I need. So for right now, we're just going to make sure that they're going into the right spots. You're not turning around. You're going into that. You're going straight. You're going straight. Over here, don't know what's coming from the bottom, from the south, and getting off here, so I'm going to leave it pretty much the way that it is right now. On this side, I do know it needs to go both directions, so this should probably be 2 lanes. So that it has one dedicated going to the right and the other one going to the left. Up here is going to need to go both directions. So these should be set up correctly. Why does this seem wrong? There should be 2 crossing. There's 2 crossing. Okay. I was just looking at the wrong color, it looks like. Anyway, over here, you go straight. You go straight. You go straight. No, no. You go into both. I didn't mean to pick that up. And you're going to go in like this, so that it's separated just like the other junction. This should be enough to fix what's going on. And let's put in this again. Okay, everything should start moving quickly now. We did not change this to being the highway road, so let's do that quickly. I don't think this needs to be a highway road, honestly, but it could be beneficial to do that. I don't know. In terms of traffic in this area, I don't think we get much. It could be beneficial to make this 2 lanes, so that they don't have to stop for each other. If I do that, I don't need either. I'm gonna leave this going both directions. It doesn't seem like anything's coming from down here. You're not going that way. You're going this way. Alright, that should be it. And if we're lucky, all of this is still moving. You are almost done with the green signs. You're only requesting 3 more trucks, which are somewhere. Let's fix up this road. So coming down here, we're not going to have a highway road because we need these buildings to still function. but this whole thing is going to be 3 lanes. I'm then going to upgrade all of this to being a 4-lane, 2-directional road, and I'm going to upgrade this to being 6 lanes. Then this one can go back to being 4 lanes, all the way to here, at which point this is going to turn into a highway 1-way road. Are the arrows facing the same direction? They are. So right here, it's going to be the easiest thing to set up. You go there, you go there, and then over here, these colors are going to go down there, and this one is just to return the trucks into this factory. So that's set up. This will never back up ever again. No matter how many cars go through it, there might be a short wait time for people turning left, because I think when there's 2 lanes or 2 directions on the road, the trucks will prefer to go around a loop just to come back on the right-hand side of the road. So for vehicles coming from here, they have the option to go left to come to here and then go down the right side coming downwards. But if they want to go on to this house, they have to come down here and go back up. They're going to do that for this house here by going down here sometimes. They can come around and go down, but sometimes they come this way. I've seen more than just green trucks coming and turning left. For example, oh, I thought that was a black truck. Never mind. The black trucks are from this. If I get an example one, there's a black truck. So you are delivering entertainment to this building. As you can see, it came down this way to go. That will occasionally come down here too. Okay, how is this working? This already sent up the piece. So if we take a look at our spaceship, we take a look at the laser cannon. We now have the Antares laser cannon fixed. It is powerful enough to melt rocks, clear your map of obstacles from orbit. So in order for us to actually be able to use that, we would have to place down a specific item, which is not the recycling center, but it was this, the laser targeting system or station. We have had this unlocked for quite a while. I just don't plan on using it until there is something that is preventing us from doing something. We do have an option for destroying this crystal because it cuts the road in half, but it doesn't really block anything, so there's no real need to break it apart. The same for any other crystal around here. It's a minor inconvenience, but it's not something like these trees here. We could very well use the laser to get rid of these trees so that we can get around here and collect more copper. I don't really need more copper. Also, I think the aluminum might be doing just fine coming in here. They can go to the right for anything over here. They can go to the left for anything up here. There is a lot of traffic right here. Why is there a ton of traffic here? I think it's just a backlog of chemicals going back home, and they just don't have enough room. Let's look at the lanes here. You're going to go to both directions. This is going to go here. If we go down here, we have a bit of stuff down here not working right. So that goes there. This never turns left. You go straight on. That should help out with the lane management here. Over here, everything should be just set up because these are normal roads. There is a slight trouble going from 3 lanes down to 2 lanes. All this should start moving once a lot less chemicals start coming down here. So what I think I want to do, since this is going to take quite a long time to fix up, is set up a distribution center here, or a collection center and a distribution center over here to bring only those chemicals over. It's gonna seem, at least in my opinion, stupid because the building is so close to the other buildings, but this is to specify and make sure that the chemicals aren't going anywhere else other than to right here. That'll also mean that we can get rid of this stuff if we don't need that many chemicals going to those buildings. Because honestly, I don't think we do. But what we're gonna do is get a collection center right here. Now, I think they go in on the right and out on the left. They do, look at that. So, if I were to connect them in, now it's 2 lanes. What happens to the trucks when they come back? Do they come out of this road and need to go that way? I think they probably will. So we're gonna do a 2-lane road there, 2-lane road here. This is gonna be turned into a 1-way road. 2 lanes, 1 way. I am going to make this go on that side. You're not turning left. This is correct. Hello, little one. Why didn't you guys tell me there's kittens in the screen? Because you can't see them. So the little thing that's cutting out part of the bed is pretty much a countertop that I just threw together. It's just a piece of wood on top of my mini fridge so that I have more space to work with. And that is actually blocking out some of the kittens. There are 2 playing with Mama, and you can see the one just climbed on the bed. So they are getting hungry. Anyway, that's there. You are requesting sand. Let's not do that. Let's do adamantine for a moment. I'm gonna turn this radius up to the buildings we need. And then over here, we will grab the distribution center. And this is gonna go here, but the buildings up top are gonna be 1 tile too close. Or 2 tiles close. We will worry about this in the future. Future coded problem. Let's go like this and this. Okay, this is going to be requesting adamantine for a moment. I need to see what requires chemicals from over here. That's industrial chemicals. This is not chemicals, not chemicals. Alright, let me look at the chemical list. The few things that require chemicals are copper bars, not on this side, green science, also not on this side, and the industrial chemicals, obviously, which are also not on this side. So the things that require chemicals on this side are fertilizer factory, which is this, and also the STEM lab, which is this. So we need to make sure that we just cover this area. So let's make this bigger. That's exactly where it needs to be. Now I am going to turn this into chemical. I'm going to link it to this, which I can't till I set this also to chemicals. Where's it at? Right there. Now I can link it to that because that is now requesting and producing. Alright, so that should make this better producing. I'm going to turn this down to only having 20 in both, because they're already going a small distance, and it does look like the trucks will return. Where are you guys going? Why are you turning left? Because if these are returning back, why are you? Oh, that's right. This isn't 2-lane, 1 direction yet. Let's change that. And then that should mean that these are spread apart better. Then over here, that's going straight back in. That's not what we want. Let's go like this. You know what? The better option for this would be to make a looped road. I just do that and then turn this all into one way. And then this way. Are they all facing the correct direction? I mean, it gives you an error message, like right here. This is not the right direction. Reverse that road and reverse this. Okay, so now they should all be coming back like this. Now the trucks coming out of here, if there's any more, we'll have the option to go to their left. This road is one way from both directions, which should be fine. And that should make this more efficient and not requesting chemicals from anywhere else. If there is a flag for needing chemicals, we just add another building on the right. And at this point, there may be a flagged thing over on this side that says we need more chemicals. Would this happen to change the numbers? No, it doesn't. Okay. There's one kitten in the cat litter about to pounce outside to get its sister. And then there's 3 that were rolling around. We also believe that all 6 kittens are females, which we think may not be something that's common in litters, that they're all one gender. What is going on with the traffic here? We just still have a lot of trucks leaving here. I think I'm going to need to put in a traffic light right here just to make sure that these get a chance to go. So we'll do this in whatever phase that it currently has. So I didn't mess with that at all. That will make sure that these guys have the option to get out. Now, why are chemicals coming down here? Just for this, okay. So that little bit of chemical backup is pretty much taken care of. The only thing that's not are the chemicals going this way. Why are chemicals going this way? Oh, because they were for the food, or they were coming from this area going to the left. So I think we may have an issue with our city downgrading, because the home appliances can't really return to then go back to the city. But this should be getting better. It looks like it is now that they have the ability to get out. Yeah, that definitely helped. And then this stuff will change over time. The only thing that should be coming from the right... What is this? Oh, that's the organic waste. That's one of the 3 things that should be coming from the right. We have the sand mine right here. We have the food and the organic waste. Those are the only things that should be coming from this way. We have chemical trucks returning from before we set up this distribution center area. So they won't return again after today. Now what I could do is, since they are returning, I could move another thing of chemicals over to here, because we obviously don't need them over on this side. And it looks like all this stuff is getting out faster now. This is starting to get quicker. So putting in that red light helped clear this portion a little bit. Once we get this backlog taken care of and the chemicals are now separated, they should get better over time, especially once the sand is all taken care of. Just waiting for it to actually get emptied because it's still backing up to here. There's a Gibble in chat if anyone wants a baby Garchomp. Garchomp is a fairly strong Pokemon. I'm still paranoid that there's a cat using the restroom. 1 microbit. There isn't. That's not enough power, so that means we have enough downgraded buildings that we no longer have people to fill in all the jobs. Which is good and bad. It's bad that we don't have enough people, but it's good because it's also going to lower the amount of traffic we have. So this is practically done now. I could turn off traffic lights now. Just have them fend them for themselves, because everything should be taken care of. And then these chemicals should fix themselves. That, I think, is aluminum. Yep, because they're going this way. I should probably turn this into a highway just to make them a little bit faster. Let's do just that. Starting from here. Congrats, Gino, on catching Gibble. Hello, little one. Not enough workers. That's going to keep popping up over the course of a few minutes. Okay, that should be all taken care of then. And then this looks about right. We could probably use making this a 4-lane road here. Just for a lane hierarchy. Now, if we wanted to, we could set up a distribution center for the chemicals currently on screen so that they stay focused in this area and don't come over here for any reason. What are you doing? They're playing at the feet of the chair. So over on this side, we have industrial chemicals literally next to the chemicals. We also have the green science over here close to the chemicals. What was the third thing? Copper bars also over here. So if we wanted a distribution center, we would have to place it maybe like right here. Have the collection center up here, I guess. Just to make sure that those chemicals don't go where we don't want them to go. Now, for us to do this efficiently, they go in on the right and come out on the left, so I think we should not place it like this, but on this side. And might as well place it right here. Let's move this. Now it's not connected, so it's not really going to be requesting anything. But now we can see all the places that require chemicals. Let's just make them all green. Okay, and then we're going to bring them in by just 1-lane road. And then over here, we're going to turn this into a loop. So I want, right now, this road. It will go into there. How many buildings would this create? I can probably put in another building right here if we need to. So I'm going to actually leave that open. Now we are going to set this up as being 2-way one-way. 2-lane one-way, I mean. And we also need to rotate them. That's good, that's good, 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 good. Can't tell which direction it's going, but since that car just disappeared, it's probably not good. What does this one do? That one was fine. Okay. No, you do need to be that way. Okay, so what that should be doing is creating a way for us to go like this. Go in, come out. This doesn't need to go both ways. Actually doing what I want. Never mind. And then let's turn this down. Change this to chemicals. Turn the radius up to include all the chemicals. And then we link it all together. Now that's all set up. Once we get our people back from, you know, our home appliances being actually created correctly, that should mean that when one area over here has an icon for chemicals, we move a building from one side to the other, because we're currently making enough. Where are they? Well, we were making enough when we had enough workers. Right now we're not making enough altogether. We do not need to do this distribution center or anywhere else for the moment. It does come in handy when we go into something later on that's going to require concrete and steel, that we can focus all of it to going over to the distribution thing for the ship, which if we take a look at the ship, I believe it's storage deck that requires concrete and steel. It also takes home appliances. So, don't know how to fix that. I think what we could do is place in a building right here that can cover all three, and we just switch the icon that it's collecting. That might actually be a good idea. Let's see how bad this would affect the city. If we put that there, this is, for some reason, 6 lanes instead of 4, so I don't think we actually have to worry about anything as we do this, and this. And then no, I don't know why it's automatically on sand. I don't like it. So that's concrete, steel, home appliances. We need to cover all of that. You know what? What if I just go like this? Cover the entire collection area. And then you. Requesting nanotubes. Still. Let's not do that. Let's put you to collecting that. And then we don't need this building anymore. Which should mean that the nanotubes are going to where they need to go. In a moment. Yeah, this is requesting nanotubes because they're all going to the storage. When they're in the distribution range, they don't go anywhere else, if I didn't say that already. And you are distributing chemicals. Okay, so that's in the right spot for now. I am watching our housing to see if it's going up at all. Because what we could do right now is do the repair mission for the storage that's going to request home appliances and get that out of the way. Let's do that. I want this to be requesting home appliances, and also this to be demanding that. So now all the home appliances are going to go into here. It's going to mean that our town stays at a low number, but should mean that we get through collecting it quickly. It's only 200 pieces, and I believe the home appliances go in 2 cars at a time. So we shouldn't really be worrying about anything. How are they being created? 66% efficiency, so this is going to take quite a while. That only lowers the amount of people we need. Doesn't really make it any faster. Fixing the ship does have benefits to certain areas. When you do the correct icon, it'll make things more efficient. You don't need 200 pieces. enough power, we know. So you should be seeing up here red trucks. That was a bit of concrete, I think. No? I saw something go in, but the number didn't change. Why are the home appliances not coming out? Because it's not connected. Did I not connect that already? I could have sworn that I did. Now they should be able to leave and go over there. I see a bunch of trucks right here. There they go. Okay, somehow that didn't work out correctly. I don't know what happened there. Okay. As we watch this go up, should see that this stays close to 0. We have heat exchangers unlocked, which means we're going on to schools next, then fertilizer to help with our farms to make them a little bit more efficient. So I don't know what the heat exchanger specifically does. Reduces heat exchangers used for temperature control in large industries, but does it like make them work better? It's not really telling me how that affects the way a building works. I feel like that icon is just needed in the ship. Is that a thing? No, that is something we can do. Chemicals, oil, methane, blue science. That's red science. We're going to actually need... Okay. So we did a poll earlier for those that weren't here. If we're going to do red science or not. We actually do need to do red science just for fixing the ship. That's the heat exchanger right there. Oh, we can actually do this if we place in the heat exchanger. What are we unable to do? Telescope, okay. Orbital scanners. The fuel cells, because I have no idea. Superconductor. We don't have this stuff yet. That is going to be unlocked, but it's not unlocked right now. And same with this holo display. That's part of yellow signs. So is the VR entertainment. That's edutainment. Okay, we can do bridge. Alright, let's go back. How close are you to being full? Oh, and apparently this consumes power. I didn't know that. Is there a no people power source? The windmills require no workers. We could spend some time putting in windmills just to keep us floating with the amount of power that we need. Like we could have a wind farm somewhere. Do we put a wind farm out here? Just so our buildings are working at the highest efficiency it can, disregarding the amount of people. There's a kitten trying to play in the mugs. Alright, our habitats are downgrading to level 2 because they don't have the home appliances. Is this almost done collecting? It needs like 16 more? Are there 8 trucks on the road? I just got a few more in. So now we just need 9. What truck just went in here? I just saw a truck go down this road and then nothing changed. Okay. Only 4 more trucks needed. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have more than we need. So let's change this to concrete now. Oh, it gets rid of the distribution link when you tell it to change what it's requesting. Gotcha now. Okay, so now all of our concrete should be coming into here and not going into storage. If it's in storage, it should be coming out and going that way. Alright, let's see. This is going up now. The home appliances should still be being created and also heading towards the city. Yep. Okay, so everything should be leveling up to at least 3. Give me 1 second to check something. I heard a noise. Could you move out of the way? Keeps trying to trip. It looks like they were just playing and hissing at each other or something. I don't know what was going on. Alright, we have about 15 minutes before we start feeding the kittens. And the one begging for the food that she didn't already have. Along with 3 handfuls of treats. So hopefully the home appliances themselves should allow the buildings to upgrade enough that we get more people. Are we still getting people coming in? We are not, but we're pretty close to the required habitat level. So we shouldn't be waiting too long before we actually get a high move-in rate. How's concrete gone? It's getting there. Not really fast. I think these trucks are 1 at a time. No, it is still 2. Okay. That is surprising me. I think I actually want this to be both directions. What truck just went in there? I need to watch this and try to catch a truck turning left. What are you? Nanotubes. Why are you still going in here? Oh, wait, what? There's a kitten underneath my chair. What are you doing down there? Hey. What are you doing? What? I think it just wants to play. Anyway. You getting distracted. We are paused for some reason. Oh, because we had the nanotube thing. I don't know why they're still getting requested. Because they don't send out a second box. Okay, inspect delivery status. Blue means the building we're looking at. Green is a delivery in progress. Yellow is incoming storage full, red is not reachable. I don't know any of that means in terms of this, because nothing else is colored. Yes, I know there's not enough power. We're getting there. We have 100% traffic flow, though. Why aren't they upgrading faster? Are we just low on people in here specifically? We are. Okay, I think we're gonna do that idea with wind farms just to increase our power consumption. Or increase the amount of workers we don't need. That's not connected into the grid yet. Now it is. So we should see that our power has gone up. 1140. Oh, it does 20 each. We're gonna need a lot of these just to make the power. If you are able to notice, the sphere that this covers, to where they're less efficient, is smaller than the last time we used windmills. And that is because we got an upgrade at some point that both made the sphere smaller and also allowed them to connect into each other. I did see that I misclicked on one. I'm going to change it in a moment after we get everything connected in. And I think we go above that number, so I don't want to delete, I just want to move it. So that should mean that we have more workers for other buildings. I don't think it would really affect this much. These are only working at about half efficiency. Oh. It's 25% per person. Okay. Now that we have power, at least. This one should be 73% or 75%, not 73. Oh, the power consumption is fluctuating. Okay. I'm watching the kittens. They're getting close to the staircase. They are smart enough not to lean over the highest point of the staircase, but I want to make sure that they don't go down the stairs. Anyway, our available home space is now up to 800, so that means we have quite a few things that are not level 2, which should mean that we're at a high rate. Our average habitat level right now is level 3. I don't know how our average is level 3 when we have more than 50% of this being level 2. Anyway, over time, we should be getting better on our workers. I do see chemical icons popping up over here, but I don't know if this is like peak efficiency chemicals. Is. All right. Move you over here. For some reason, that was efficiently. Why are you guys not getting enough? It was just being delivered. You just didn't have enough of the bar completed. Gotcha. How's this going? We're about a third of the way done? More than a third? And it is pretty much time to feed the kittens. So, I'm going to let this run while we are in the other scene. But before we get into that scene with the kittens, I'm going to take a quick restroom break. And then when we come back, we'll be in a different scene than this one. So I'm going to do first a hard save to make sure that we can come back to this point if needed. And I will be back in just a little bit. It's saying that it needs more chemicals to the left side, so let's just bring another one of these buildings to the left side. And then that should catch up a little bit more. I'm gonna guess that this doesn't request a lot. Whichever one needs chemicals over here. So you need one every 10 seconds. And then one every, oh, okay, so 2 every 10 seconds. How much do these make? 2 every 10 seconds. Do I really only need 1 building? No, I need 3 buildings over here. So this is the exact amount we need for this area. Okay, so this should all go away over time. Are you almost done? You are almost done, look at that. Pretty soon we'll be changing that to steel. And then waiting for the same thing to happen. Which is probably going to send us into not having enough housing again. Welcome in, Mr. Rusty, doing 3 asterisks, making me think you sent a link. Glad to see you came back. We have the kittens being fed. And why are they eating off the same plate? You know, they're not really fighting. So I'll let them keep going. They had the option of having their own plate. Those chemical icons should be going away. Our concrete is almost done. That's why I'm waiting in this screen without moving. I want to make sure that we switch it and change it to steel. That's all the concrete we need. So, steel. Steel. Make you back up. We could have had this, we could have had 3 over here doing all of them. Actually, what are the pros and cons of doing that? A lot of things are taking only 3 items. This one takes 4, but that food's really close by. We can pipe these in. This takes 4 things, but one of them is piped in. 2 of them are piped in. Hold on a second. Could we... We need to pipe everything in. Let's do oil first, since I see that's on the bottom. We'll just go to there. No, we need to go in too. Then we need water. Then we need oxygen. Then we need to bring methane over here. Hopefully that's at like the farthest bottom. It is. They're all relatively spread apart. So now when we need that stuff, it'll be ready right away. What should be the next thing we take off here? Also, we can update the to-do list. Permit me, please. You wanted to clip and get... Wait, why didn't it tell me that you tried? What? I don't know how to permit. Usually it would tell me that you sent a link and then have it crossed out, but for some reason it did asterisks instead. We're also in ads now. Mama is done eating, so I'm going to be giving her the extra food. I forgot why we were in here. I think I was just looking again to see what needs the different liquids. So we could do this fairly quickly because it's only blue science and chemicals that we would need to truck in. We're already collecting chemicals And the blue science would be completed very quickly. Just making sure that nobody's using the toilet. I mean, going on the carpet to use it as a toilet. They are getting better on using the litter. They just don't always use the litter yet. Alright, I think this is going to be the next one that we do once we get all the steel in here. How far away are we on steel? Quite far. Which I think is ironic because this, for some reason, says we're making enough. We're gonna ignore this number. That's saying that we need a lot for the ship. We don't actually need that many. You are computers, I think. Yes, you are. So this is that 5th building I was telling you guys about at the beginning of the stream. Computers take plastic, blue chips, and aluminum. Blue chips, plastic, aluminum. Alright, we're still making enough. They just have to get over here. Why are we waiting on industrial chemicals? Because we are waiting on chemicals themselves. Okay, so I'm going to assume we just need to put in another chemical plant. Because this should be sending out a lot of stuff. We'll see if that levels out a little bit. I know this is gonna hold us back a little bit. Because that needs steel. We're just not doing the steel as fast as I would like to. We're also still having the chemical icons pop up. Oh, that's right, motors are used for yellow science. So these are going to be all out of motors at some point. This one can make one more yellow science once it gets green. So can this one, and this can make 2 more signs. How much does this need? If I write down the ratios that we need for all of this. One of the kittens was just squealing as it used the bathroom. It was cute and a little concerning at the same time. Where is the end of my notebook? There it is. Okay, so this is 1 every 10 seconds. Next thing that needs it is green science. It's 4 every 30. I don't know what that ratio would be. I don't think that's how I'm supposed to do it. Is it 30 divided by 4? That's not what I want to do either. Or divided by 3? 1.33 per 10 seconds? Just to make it all 10 seconds. And then industrial chemicals is 2 every 10 seconds. Too slow. Trying to catch the snowflake. We now have the schools unlocked. Okay. So the bars we have 5 of. Science we need 5 every 10 seconds. Green science we have 12. What's 12 times 1.33? That is 15.99. And then for the industrial chemicals, we need 4 per 10 seconds. So that means altogether we need 25 every 10 seconds. Because we're rounding out the 15.99 as just 16. And these all make 2 every 10 seconds. So if we divide that in half, that's 12.5. And we have 14 over here. So really, there's no reason why these should be flickering on and off. I think I was just impatient. And if we waited long enough, they would just go away on their own. Not sure. First time using a distribution center, and I just think this isn't working well. What's going on over here? You should be getting these. We are still making them, as far as I know. Yeah, we're still making them. So as long as this doesn't... Actually, this might be saying that we need more. Realistically, compared to this large number due to the ship sending thing. There are a few things that are flickering. Oh, all of a sudden we don't have enough people. I guess some of the house is downgraded. Okay. I mean, they're not going to upgrade to level 5 until this is all set up, and that needs motors, which needs steel. So that's not going to get set up anytime soon. You're about halfway done. Just checking on the kittens. Seems like they're all fine. Are they at least getting out of here quick enough? Everything's gonna get slowed down now because of not enough workers. Would it be worth trying to change all of our power to the windmills just to save that amount of people? I think that would just prolong the inevitable, and what we've done already should be what we keep. Because that just keeps us afloat when we don't have enough people. I am seeing less chemical icons pop up as they do pop up. So it looks like the chemical stuff is starting to get back on track. There was just maybe a backlog of stuff going in here. I mean, they're both set to store only 20. So I don't know. I don't know how to make this faster, because if I take away the distribution center, making it so that steel is prioritized going to there, then they would go into whatever is closest to them, which meant that they would go to this first. which would help us get level 5 buildings, but not really anything else. And I just need these to finish quickly. What if I got rid of the storage? Then I'd have no choice but to go into this building. This should always be 0. I don't know why it has a backlog of cars in there. This is almost at 1,000 now. Mom is yelling at one of her kittens. Here's the schools, by the way. So before there used to be only one school. Now it looks like there's 2 different kinds, where one is a smaller range. Keeps the level of education high. Public schools only deliver resources to surrounding habitats. Keeps the level of education high. Oh, so they say the same exact thing. It's really just the size of them. Okay. And this is actually small. If I do to school, how much does that cover? It doesn't cover everything, but I could place them on the sides here. Actually, if I place one here and then another one on the other side. I go like that, and then one there. I can move this over like that. And then they all have schools, I think? I think that one's going to. Yep. They all have schools. What are you doing? I think one of the kittens is still trying to nurse off of Mama, and she doesn't want them to. We are relatively close to having enough people for our jobs. We just need some more houses to upgrade, and that's just waiting on these. I have no idea how to speed any of this stuff up. This is waiting on computers. I don't think we're backed up on. I could put in another home appliance, I don't like this number still being there, and I'm also confused on why the consumption of this is so low. $8.3 a minute is what we request? The worst part about this is that the game is already on its fastest speed. I think maybe what I want for the chemicals over here is to not have them on the distribution system. I think it might be just holding them back too much. I'm gonna redraw in the roads. I'm still gonna leave this top thing as a one-way road, because I think it might help get them situated quicker. Why are you guys all on one road? It's a 2-lane road, but for some reason they're all in one lane. And now the trucks are just going crazy, going into everything they need. So it looks like the distribution center might have been holding it back. It looks like now they're all in 2 different lanes instead of just one. One of the kittens is clawing at the other cat tree, and I couldn't tell what they were clawing on. Once this gets situated, there shouldn't be as many cars going through here. Right now we're flooding the system with chemicals. We almost have enough housing for the amount of jobs we have. So that's getting better as well. This is almost done as well. We're about 100 shy. And I don't know if this is going to be done within the next 2 minutes, because we're going to have to raid out soon. So that I can make it to work. Because this 60 seconds here is how long it takes it for one box to go into the spaceship, not how long it takes to create one box. Unless that's considered delivery and not a box, and it takes a minute to deliver it to the ship, then it's the same thing. We're almost there. We're within 60 pieces now. So it looks like things are getting quicker. We must have enough workers in the specific jobs used for steel. Now we're within 40 pieces of steel left. Now 30. Is anything else still screaming for chemicals? Doesn't look like it. Looks like the only thing they all need is this steel. You have any? You have 8. I pause right now. You probably have enough trucks coming over here. Why are there still nanotubes going in there? Anyway, now we're getting the minute thing there. There goes the alarm. So we actually did complete everything before we had to raid out. It's just now we have to wait another minute for it to send the ship out. And this should mean that all 3 of these things are making even more every time they make one piece. And I can now set this to adamantine. And this also to adamantine. Then we won't need any steel there for a long time. So in here we have the laser cannon and the storage desk completed. Storage deck. I am now going to go into our to-do list, which I don't think we see everything. I think we did the 2 things that are currently not visible. If I am looking at this correctly, that last thing is the hull. Yeah, right underneath passenger deck. So what I'm actually taking off of the to-do list, you guys can't even see. We have laser cannon. And we have storage deck. So luckily we did complete a little bit. So what do we want to do next? This is like low resources. That's pretty quick to do, I think. This will be fast, but we don't have the holo display yet. We do have the computers. We can do this. I think we should probably focus on the things that require piped in stuff like this. The water and the oxygen should get done immediately. I actually want to know how fast that's actually going to get done. Yep, immediately. So that is good meal and survival foods. Is this going to actually request survival food coming over here? Congrats, Mr. Rusty, on getting Toad School. You are still getting nanotubes over here for some reason. I don't know how to stop them from leaving. Okay, they are starting to come this way. Both food types are coming this way. I wonder how fast we can get this completed. We could ignore these two red numbers. Let's look at home appliances while we're here. It says we only need 44, and we're making 80 per minute. And of course our food's going to be low. We're already a fifth done of the survival food. Let's let this run while we find out who we're going to raid out to. So, let's get our poll ready. And we have quite a few people, actually. Oh, wait, that's not following. Hold on. If I go into following, it's a little bit less. Willow is still live? I'm going to assume that Willow's going to raid out soon. But she is going to be the fourth option. So we have Southern Finn playing usual Coral Island. We have Percuss also playing the usual Vintage Story. We have Welber Grapefruit playing Oxygen Included. And we have Willow Rainey, who's probably going to raid out before we raid into them. And they are also playing Oxygen Included. And then last choice, chat's choice. You all know what that means. That poll's up. We are about... Well, we're more than halfway done the survival food. I want to say we're close to halfway with the late game food. So we might actually, I don't, you know, are we going to get this done before we raid out? Are we not? I don't know. I'm going to refresh this to see if Willow raided. Willow's still alive, okay. We are almost done the survival food transportation. We are now halfway done the late game food. Poll is ended. No one voted on the poll. Okay. I think we'll wait a few minutes for this one thing to get finished, since the survival food is almost done. And it does mean that the survival food is not going to the city. Alright, why aren't the home robots being completed, though? Home robots, they're making enough. That's making enough. Motor's making enough, and sensors making enough. Are we just not shipping them? What's going on here? None of these say that they have home robots. We are starting to get some of these saying that they don't have enough food. Okay, so now we are only working on getting a good meal here. It says that there's 10 currently being delivered, now 12. So I'm guessing we have enough of a extra, but that's how quickly we're transporting it here along with the city, or it's all being sent here because this is before the city. I am not sure at all. Now there's 18 currently being delivered. And the amounts are going up. Why are they in this lane and then getting over? We only have 26 pieces left to go. Out of those 26 pieces, there are 14 currently being delivered. Hopefully that number starts going down in a little bit. That should be 14 left to deliver now. No, that number isn't going down. Huh. Because it should say only 10 in transit now. Alright, this is yet another thing completed. So let's get our to-do list open again. We're actually going to take one thing off that you guys can see. We can go into this scene, I think. That is passenger deck, right above hull. So that means you can see all but 2 options left. And we also have to be in this scene for it to log that it finished it all. When we go into the ship overlay, it pauses the game. Alright, that's it gone. Everything down here should be all in the good. For some reason we're making a ton of survival food, more than we need. Don't know why we're making that many if we don't need that much. I think this just isn't up to speed yet. Anyway, what are we going to start next? We don't have that yet. We don't have that yet. No. We can do this. 2 things are going to be done very quickly. Then we just need chemicals and blue science all brought over here. Both of which should be completed very quickly. We could also do bridge. Also, the thermal systems is one of the telescope and thermal systems are the last 2 you guys can't see yet. Maybe I do 2 things you guys can see in the to-do list first. We could probably finish this very quickly. Superconductor, there's only 75 pieces that we need for that, so that's probably another quick thing. If we get holo displays up and running, that could get done very quickly. And then this is just VR edutainment, which is, I think, in the same thing as holo display. Let's take a look at science first. We're doing fertilizer, then iridium mining, holo displays, and yeah, that's holo display and the VR edutainment factory. So that is going to unlock the thing that we need. We're just going to have to start mining iridium. And I guess we do need the uranium stuff. Whether or not we're going to need adamantine and all this stuff, I don't think so. I think we need the superconductor factory, so we're probably going to have to get a little bit of red science undergoing. Anyway, that's all for this stream. We're going to do another save. The correct file. Let's zoom out, take a picture from right here. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 p.m. EST, and on Sundays from 10 a.m. EST to 2 p.m. EST.